Alright, here's my boat, Serafina. It's a good thing it's here because I reserved it. When I step on, I want to make sure that I announce it to anybody that's on the boat. This doesn't happen to be anybody on there now, but if there were, I just want to announce to my crew that I'm stepping on. So stepping on, I want to step on at the shrouds, holding onto the shroud so I don't take a chance of falling in. So I climb into the boat. Now I'm going to check and make sure that the other safety equipment that is on my list is here. I should have a paddle, a bilge pump, and a throwable, and a bucket. I have a bucket. I have a Type 4 throwable. I have a paddle. I have a bilge pump. I also have a jib. I've noticed that there's no real trash in the boat, which is a good thing. I'm going to check the bilge and see if there's water in the bilge. And there is a little bit. So I pumped the bilge out dry. I'm going to check that again when I come back to make sure that it stays dry. I can store my safety box down below. That'll keep it safe. Now I'm going to check the boat to make sure that all my equipment is safe. I'd like to start at the bow. I'm going to check and make sure that the ring dings are in place and holding. Check all the fittings and make sure that everything's good. I'm going to check the wire, make sure there's no snags or broken strands in the wire. I'm also going to be visually inspecting the hull to make sure that there's no damage. If there's damage, I will report it and let everybody know that it's happened. I check my halyards for wear. Check all my shrouds for, again, loose wires, loose ring dings that may be broken or missing. I'm going to check the gooseneck. Make sure it's secure. It's got a bolt with a nut on the bottom. The fittings here seem to be secure. Moving back, I'm going to check the main sheet. Again, checking for the ring dings on the main sheet attachment points. Make sure everything is secure. And moving back, check the gooseneck. This ring ding is opening up. That should be replaced. I'll make a note of that because it could snag somebody. Check the outhaul. Check the backstay. And check the tiller. Everything seems to be secure. So now we're going to start rigging. I'm going to remove the cover and we can fold it and put it below. Before I start rigging, I want to check and make sure that the bang is uncleated and loose. I want to make sure that the boom can rise as I take the sail up. Before I actually raise the sail, I'll make sure that the main sheet is loose. We can get started with pre-feeding the main. So we make sure we get the right halyard and make sure that it's clear. Make sure that the shackle snaps tightly, start it into the slot, and then we're just going to leave it right there. My sail is still tied, so it's not going to blow away. So now we'll rig the jib. jib, we want to make sure we get the right halyard because we have two coming off the front. The jib halyard is a lower halyard below the forestay. We'll attach that. Make sure it gets on securely. Sail tie that I took off the main, and I'm going to use that to gather up the jib. To keep it secure on the foredeck. Now I'll take the jib sheets, run them through the cars, and tie a stop knot, a figure 8 stop knot on the end, and I like to actually go ahead and pull them in and put them around the winch. That'll help keep the jib in place. Now we've got everything in. Notice we haven't hoisted any sails yet. We've got to check the wind direction. It's coming toward us this way. We don't want to hoist any sails unless the boat's pointed into the wind. So we're going to shift the boat so it's pointed directly into the wind. Sam, you want to get the stern line? So we think the best thing to do is let the boat hang off the end of the boat. Make sure that it feeds into the slot. Before we do that, we're going to uncleat the main sheet to make sure it's free to run, and we're going to double check that by actually lifting up on the end of the boom to make sure that it'll go up all the way. Now we know that there's nothing keeping the sail from going up. So we can remove the sail ties and hoist the sail. Make sure that as a skipper, I'm the one that pushes because I know how far it needs to go. I'll instruct my crew how to steer and we'll take off.